Hello, folks, and welcome to Inspos Q&A. I see just few questions and only 10 people watching right now the stream. So it's a very small group, and that allows us to interact even better. So great. Let us directly start. I just won another 10 minutes, so we have 40 minutes from now on. That's crazy. I like that. Before we just go to the restaurant. Okay, then I would say let us start. First of all, I just want to say thank you very much for all your support. Really, everyone. I'm noticing that the whole community spirit is growing. I'm receiving DMs with really interesting informations, and that's exactly my goal. That's the matter. Thank you very much for all of your support. Love you all. So let us start. 777. I like your name, even if it's a Boeing and not an Airbus, but I like 777s. So buckle up. We are going lower. Bearish engulfing candle on weekly tomorrow will be confirmed. Well, as just mentioned, I mean, my whole trading behavior is driven by data, by patterns and data. So sometimes you have data and you need a context. So you are, of course, like every indicator, just checking also historical context. And it looks like, I mean, I was bullish just 2 weeks ago, indicating, hey, we will go up, in expecting even we could go up, hitting 25, 26, 28, and even 30. And they crashed my expectations when they started to pump like crazy. And that was the first indication for me that the whole thing is a trap. And that's what I said close afterwards. I'm not convinced. I don't like that. And yeah. So, you know, I at the moment really think that we can go lower. Maybe not even much lower. I'm still missing a confirmation of CoinGlass 200,000 bitcoins inflow to centralized exchanges. At least CryptoQuant is not illustrating this information. However, we know, I mean, different data providers can have some gaps between each other, so we need to see. I mean, CoinGlass is a good provider, no doubts, but if they are really accumulating 200,000 bitcoins on centralized exchanges, it's going to be hell. Because I mean, every level we are expecting could be even too high. Like it happened to me with the 24K, calling it since last year, and we just dumped to 17. So we need to see. Sionu, love you, Inspo, love you, man. Or I don't know, man, woman, whoever. I'm sorry, but I love you. Helen, hi to Greece, hi to you as well. Big love to you. And we go directly to. I'm not sure how to pronounce your forename, so I'm going to use your surname, Korelich. Inspo, you are the best. Thank you for your effort. Thank you very much for your kind words. It is possible 75 BP are priced in the market, and Wednesday we go up, and October we will be green. That's a big question. I think that the markets are recognizing that the whole thing is changing. Not really in their favor. They had some different narratives, they failed. Even the current government narrative is going to fail. We all should know about that. It takes time, but it's going to fail. And right now, even if the White House is thinking about to bring some sanctions against China, well, the worst is still to come. So 75 PPS priced in, yes or no? I mean, if we think about Goldman, JP's comments of the last month, where they were expecting rate hikes of minimum 50 BPS, but even 75 BPS and more, I would say, yeah, it's priced in. But it's all the time priced in. However, the markets reacted always different. So sometimes, just give me a second because I forgot something. Now it works. So the big problem here, what I see is the markets need something to be bullish at the moment. So even on SPY, no big buy activity is happening. And to be honest, Jeremy Powell quoted too many times Paul Volcker, that raised the interest rates until the whole economy crashed. And that's, in my opinion, not a very positive signal to the markets. So, to be honest, they can push up with 75 PPS, telling us it's priced in. We know that. But I wouldn't expect that. So, it's, I mean, we know that at least in the US, the inflation declined a little bit. If they are going to rise the interest rate by another 75 BPS, indicates also to the markets, even if the inflation is cooling down, they are going to rise the interest rates even more. And since this month, the Fed should, at least that's what they announced, is reducing their balance sheet not more 30 billions per month, but the double, 60 billions. So sucking capital from the markets at the same time while bringing higher interest rates, it's going to be a big challenge. Even I think that they still need an exit rally. So something that I'm still expecting in the next month until maybe, and that will be the latest, end of the first half of 2023. Afterwards, all what we are seeing, all the data that they are publishing, inflation, crude oil inventories, where we say that's not bullish at all, but it seems it doesn't have that big impact. It will to the unemployment. So to the unemployment rate, that's the current US government narrative at the moment, just saying, well, you see, the unemployment rate is not really rising, so our economy is strong. That's wrong. That's a very, in my opinion, a narrative that's not going to work and end well. So next, Monday to Wednesday will be choppy. Everyone thinks lower, so market will go up enough to liquidate the gamblers, then down. That's usually what the market does. So and that's the problem, every time when we go down, people are going long. And that's what's happening right now, and I can show you that here once again. Every time we go up, shorts are coming in. Every time we go down, longs come in. Because people always think the market is going to do the opposite. Always. And that could be a big trap. Because this game is what they are playing all the time. And I have said just a few weeks ago in one of my streams, I said we need to be extremely careful with that. because that could be the ultimate trap when everyone is going too long expecting we will go up because that's what we are doing all the time, and they go and press their red button and the market goes another $5,000 down and they liquidate. Then every gambler. But also, to be honest, if we check, for example, the current data, and that's another thing that doesn't look like we still have a lot of gamblers, is the leverage ratio is lifting up, but not that big as before. The problem here, also the open interest. But you can see that the open interest is lifting up, while, okay, they demanded here more shorts, but they are demanding more longs again. So also indicating that longs are coming in. And then the last move, where we just went up a little bit, they liquidated shorts again. So usually this kind of mini shakeouts, and that's what I mentioned just today in my analysis, is what they do. It's a sideways run, but if you zoom in, that's such kind of volatility that they use to liquidate both sides. Usually this side where the market is going to go afterwards. So if, for example, they are noticing shorts, even they see we have much more longs, they will push up to liquidate these shorts, because the whole goal is to go down even more. You know what I mean? So they shake out or they rag the shorts so they can't take profit. That's the main goal behind, and that's why I say we need to be extremely careful. It's not a fair play anymore. Since a while, it's not. Because exchanges are really, they have the biggest stress test ever. Musmil, I love you, sir. Thank you very much, mate. I love you as well. Milos, hey Inspo, any advice how to handle my wife? She thinks I'm gambling. No. No, really not. I can't tell you how to handle that, because I'm lucky. I'm really a lucky guy. Actually, on my part, she's not asking. She knows when I'm making money, but also when I'm losing money. And then sometimes you hear something, yeah, well, I remember when you lost that money. I'm not going to forget that. But she is not talking about gambling. But just because she knows that I mean, everyone makes mistakes. And I did mistakes, not only with crypto, also with equities and so on in the past. But that's a lesson. I mean, we need to make such kind of wrong decisions to learn how to make it better. And when I'm not trusting the market, I'm staying away. So I'm reducing this rate of gambling a lot. So I like this market. It's, 24/7, 365 days open. I love it. I love the crypto community. Even, you have some pain in the ass guys also. But that's fine. That's part of it. However, even I like to trade, and I would love to trade every day. Yeah, discipline. That's what I'm doing. When I don't trust the market, even if I'm missing an opportunity, I just stay away. That's the best, because I did, I had my lesson already. So, Musmil, I'm Shoaib Yan from Twitter, sir. Okay. Okay, I need to see and take a look who you are on Twitter. So Musmil, sir, if BTC price going down, then why people open 70% long positions? Like I said, expectations. That's expectations. So only if you have some extremes, people will start to flip. So at least some of them. And that's not the case. People love patterns. We go up, we go more down. We go up, we go more down. We go up, we go more down. So it's clear. If we go more down, we go up afterwards again. So we are maintaining above of 19.5. It's obvious we will go up. That's how they trade. And that's what exchanges know. And that's why open interest, leverage ratio, and funding rate starts to lift up. And that's why I said it will take a while. We will start to create again a sideways run. And when they collected enough futures, it doesn't matter if long, short, they will start to make the opposite. That's what they did in the last pump. Also something I mentioned. People started to short because we went up. So we know when we are up, we will go down again. People are not expecting any huge bull run anymore. So they are trading these tiny trade ranges. And what happened? They liquidate all of them. They went even a little bit more up. Then people started to short again. Then they went a little bit more up. That's what happened here as well. We dumped, people start to long. We went even more down. They liquidate them. They started to go long. We went even more down. That's what they are doing. And at a certain point, when they have cleaned a little bit their balances, they push up. Just to liquidate late shorts, for example. So that's what they are doing. In the past, for example, every time when we dumped, I did always the same. I just jumped in and started along because it was obvious we will go up afterwards. And then they did exactly the same. It's always the same pattern. They know that. And you are their victim. You are what they want, your liquidity, your money. Because if you are taking profit, you are taking their liquidity. At the moment, exchanges, centralized exchanges, have a big liquidity problem. I know that FTX and Binance are saying, we are fine. If you check the volume on FTX, nothing is fine there. Absolutely nothing. Even, on Binance it looks better because of it's the biggest exchange, and so it attracts a lot of liquidity. It's more concentrated. But they are not doing well at all. Absolutely not. So the main goal of exchanges right now is not to allow to give you the opportunity to take profit. That's the main thing. So if you want to make money, you need to play with big volume because you need low leverage. And that's exactly the problem. So if you are not going to trade with big volume, you need a higher leverage. And they know that. They know that. I mean, they have the whole data. They know how many people have, for example, an average volume in orders. And that's why they, for example, they separate and classify in accounts and positions. So they know very well that, for example, here, the proportion of net long and net short accounts to total accounts of the top 20% users with the highest margin balance. So they have everything. They can see that. And they know exactly how to liquidate us if they want. And that's what they are doing. In my opinion, that's exactly what they are doing. We have one part of the actors manipulating or driving the market, exchanges. Then we have whales. Then we have institutionals, for example, using a lot of OTC. Recently, we have seen a big OTC activity. That's how it works. Milos, seeing your longs shorts ratio, thinking about closing my longs on ATH. Or try to hedge. That's another you know? I mean, I don't know your volume, but you can hedge even with futures. That only works if we maintain a certain trade range. You start a position of long and of short. We go up, close your long. Afterwards, we will go down, close your shorts, start a new long. For example, if you see we are breaking certain resistance or supports, place your stop loss for each one, for your hedge long and short. That's what I'm doing, just to minimize the risk of a liquidation, and liquidation can happen, of course, and to still make money. And that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not doing a lot of money with that. Otherwise, I need to play with big volume, but you can imagine. And I mean, all the zero fee promos only works for spot. That's another way. If you are playing with big volume, buy and go short. That's what Bitfinex whales are doing all the time, indicating not even these guys know what could go or what can happen next. Otherwise, they don't need to make such kind of risk management. But I'm using, and that's why I'm using BitGet, because on KuCoin I can do it. On Binance, as a German, I can't trade futures anymore. So BitGet allows me not only to make trailing stop loss, that's another good thing, but at the same time, I can hedge futures with each other. I can start a long and at the same start a short. It doesn't only it makes sense if you know that the trade range is limited. Of course, if they go up like crazy, you will maintain your long. You need a stop loss for your short, otherwise they will liquidate you. And that's what happened in the last pump, for example. So they were very close to liquidate me, to liquidate one of my positions. I mean, then you are not making any big gain. Your gain is, or at least your positions, you can close both and it's neutral. Well, also possible. At least you are not going to lose any money. So let us go forward. Musmil, oh Jesus, 20, that's fine. So which coins will you accumulate at which price once BTC completely drops? That's a long story, mate, because I have a lot of different tokens in my mind. I have talked about ISO 222 yesterday. Unfortunately, that's part of the initial Inspos initial comment. That's a new chapter in my paid sub analysis version, where I mentioned why ISO 222 certified crypto tokens could be a game changer. And one of them is, for example, Quant. We have ADA as well, and some others, Miota, for example, Chainfin, and so on and so forth, Ripple. But however, QNT, for example, is, in my opinion, one that is part of it. It's certified. And some people ask me, well, it doesn't matter if they are certified or not. I mean, ISO 222 is just a standard for the global communication of banks. Yeah, that's it. Like SWIFT. Many of you know SWIFT, maybe. If you're sending money abroad, banks has to communicate with each other, because one is operating that transaction, but just to operate the whole transaction, it needs the support of different other banks. It depends to what money you want to convert your euros or US dollars, for example, and this bank doesn't have this kind of currency reserves. It needs to involve others, but at the same time, it's going to lock its liquidity for this transaction. So the whole thing is a little bit more complex, just to explain everything right now in a few minutes. But the thing is, QNT is part of it. Means QNT is going to be compatible to the whole global payment transaction communication standard. Banks are, at least in Germany, I would say in whole Europe, and I guess in the US as well, every bank is shifting to standard. Every bank. Just because regulation is expensive. Central banks are bringing more and more requirements, and every little requirement usually means for every bank just to adapt their IT infrastructure. So to shift to a standard means a centralized opportunity to adapt their systems on a way that costs a lot less than if they have individual systems. So standards, it's going to be for the financial sector even more important in the next years. And if we see that they are bringing some certifications like ISO 222, that's going to be very interesting for crypto tokens. The problem here is that if they are going to bring a standard, usually these standards are not the most innovative ones. Means they are using old protocols, XML or JSON. And people say, well, but that doesn't make sense. Yeah, it makes sense because banks use old systems. They use SAP as a hub for their data. Everything, when you are going to your bank and you are demanding a credit and they are not only introducing your data in the system, but at the same time making a request, at the same time he is triggering a risk management tool and at the same time a credit score tool, everything works on SAP. Everything, every data is going to end in SAP. Well, SAP is the main hub of almost every big bank in the world. And the question is then how SAP works, what kind of data format they use. And usually JSON, XML. That's why ISO 222, for example, is certifying only tokens, crypto projects that could provide the required informations based on XML and JSON formats. So just to make it clear, that's really important. Every time when you are going to invest in a crypto token, is always to ask, is that, because the whole structure, financial sector, is not going to disappear. Even many people hope that's going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So crypto and the financial sector will meet each other and both will define requirements, mainly the banking sector, because they are not going to change the whole IT infrastructure just because of crypto. So crypto has to adapt more to the banking sector. And it's really crucial to ask on every crypto project if it could meet these requirements. And many crypto tokens can't meet these requirements. Also, in my opinion, not even Bitcoin can do that. Not even Ethereum can do that. And the next question you should do is, what is the use case of the crypto project I'm going to invest in? Ethereum smart contracts have different use cases. Bitcoin, it's a currency. It has almost just one use case. So if it's not going to be adaptable to standards, I don't know. Just, that's how I make questions, and that's how I invest money. And you need to know the use and business cases always. You are investing in something. You are not investing in something physics. You are investing in something in intellectual wealth. That's what you are investing in crypto. So you need to ask, does that bring any benefit and to the industry, to any kind of industry? I like Luxo, Lyxe. Not because of the name, because it's a cool name or whatever, just because of its use case. I mean, the founder is former senior developer of Ethereum smart contracts. He brings enough skills. The other thing is, he had a great idea. He loves NFTs. But he also recognized that NFTs metadata are really limited. Really limited. While NFTs could have a big, big potential for many different industries. And one industry is, for example, the cloth industry. So Nike, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, whatever you want, every big brand that's victim of the copy industry, I mean, when I'm doing my vacations in Spain and I go, for example, to the beach, in the afternoon, you will find a lot of guys selling the last news Nikes for $20. We all know these Nikes are not original. But that's the big pain of Nike, because these guys are making products that looks exactly like the original ones. We don't need to ask about the quality of material and so on and so forth, but that's a big, big pain. That's a multi-billion US dollar market, the copy market. It's not only working for clothes, it's also working for even for mobile phones. This guy, so the head of Luxor, had a great idea to introduce more metadata to NFTs. And if you check their website, for example, you will find some really interesting stakeholders. Nike, Chanel, and then oh, okay, they are going to kill the whole copy market, because that's a huge market. And Luxor is based on Ethereum. It just has a supply of 100 million. Nobody is talking about that because they have a really small market cap and the token costs $5 at the moment. It went even down to $3, and that's where I bought just a little bag. But when these guys are done, and that will take years, I guess, and they start to use this kind of NFTs on products, so you are going to the shop tells you, yeah, I need your iPhone or whatever, your mobile phone, so we can send you the last NFTs showing you that this product is original. Well, the next time when I'm taking my plane from Spain to Germany, and then one officer tells me, can you show me please your NFTs on your phone, and could you please open your case because we need to check if something is there that's not original. That's just one scenario. But if you think even more, you will see and find much more scenarios. And that's why I love crypto. Crypto is creating a lot of tools to fix problems we have. That was just one, Luxo. Also, I love, for example, work sharing, the work sharing system. So you don't need an office. You can share this office with 3, 4 other entrepreneurs, for example, and you save money. That's what Sealer or ANKR is doing with resources. That's beautiful, and that's going to be absolutely required in the future, even if we are noticing the problem with the energy crisis. So we will share everything that we are producing to optimize the use. And that's what crypto is doing. So I'm just mentioning some projects I really like because I see their big potential. Even I like, for example, low supply tokens. That's why also I love Fusion because they just have, I don't know, 40 millions or something. Also low market cap. But I'm a long-term investor. I just believe, I research, I take a look, and when I'm noticing, okay, these guys, they have a nice roadmap. They really know how to handle it. They have a beautiful use and business case. That's where I start to accumulate. So let us go forward. Any expectations how long the interest rates rise will last? No, absolutely not. I think even the Fed doesn't know that. Not yet. But it will go up. It will go up even more. But at the moment, I really don't know how far they want to bring that. Really not. So, Milos, asking this because of real estate buying. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know where you are located, Milos. I had a discussion with my sister just a few days ago about that. Hey, Inspo, you should buy a house in Spain. The market doesn't look that bad. And I said, well, sister, you know what? Let me wait a few years and I will buy not one house, 2 houses for the same price that I would spend now for one house. The whole real estate bubble will explode. In Europe, it was huge what they did with a low interest rate. They give a lot of credits and mortgages to the people. I mean, Netherlands, well known in Europe as one big example. The prices went up like rockets. Really. Also, Berlin, my home city, incredible. If you could buy, for example, a flat for, let us say, $150,000 in a very exclusive location in Grunewald, that's really a very exclusive location in Berlin, just 20 years ago, now you have to spend at least for the same flat 6 times or 7 times. So, I mean, they started to construct, they started to buy, and the whole thing was working well while the interest rate maintains low, because you will always find people that invest. But the whole thing is going to crash. Like we had also in Berlin, for example, end of the 90s. That's what happened. That was the beginning of a bubble, and then we had the crisis, and then the whole bubble, even it wasn't that big, just exploded. It will happen again. I'm absolutely sure about that. So guys, I need to start to come to an end. Until the job is done, Powell. Yes, exactly. He has an own definition of job, to be honest. So, that's scaring me when such guy like Powell is, for example, quoting Paul Volcker so many times, while Paul Volcker crashed a whole economy, rising interest rates even more and more and more. And that's scaring me a little bit. But the big question is if the Fed has to crash our fiat system. I was reading an really interesting interview between a German economist and a friend of mine. He is a journalist in Germany. And it was about the CBDCs. And the economist, and he is right, said, well, they can launch a CBDC, but its potential will be extremely limited. The only way how to use the whole CBDC is to crash the financial sector, and that means crash the fiat system or to crash the fiat system. And I remember, and that was very interesting, when Donald Trump was president of the United States, he announced and placed one member of the Fed. I don't remember how her name is. However, she is convinced that the only way how to launch CBDC is to back the US dollar, even a digital one, to gold. Something we know that something like a CBDC is already working in China. We also know that just because of the whole situation between, related to Ukraine and so on and so forth, China and Russia are much closer right now. We also know that Russia bought a lot of gold and is also indicating they are going to bake the ruble, even the next digital one, to gold. And even China did something mentioning in that way that could be a potential next step to bake the Chinese yuan in gold. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's going to be the agenda. If that's going to be the agenda, fiat system like we know fiat systems since 1917, since Nixon stopped the baked US dollar to gold. So it will go back, and gold will be the underlying asset, and then it's going to be a big game changer, because then you don't need to crash markets just to launch the CBDC and to have the CBDC as your unique currency for your central banks. Let us take a look. No people before midterm elections, maybe others people you see in mid 2023. The only way where I see a people is as soon as they see that the inflation is declining in a way that they can't control anymore. That's the only way where I see a people. Because the biggest threat for any central banker is deflation. Inflation is handleable. At least that's what they are saying. In my opinion, this time it's really different. But however, so central bankers will raise interest rates as long as they are not noticing that inflation is really pushing down. They will. When the inflation starts to decline, they will not doing anything. They will maintain calm and observe what's going to happen. If they see that the acceleration, so the pace of its declining, is rising, they will start to pivot. They will stop to raise interest rates. They will stop the balance sheet reduction and even do the opposite to control the falling inflation. Because they want, like they said many times, and that's the magic level on every central bank, is to have an inflation of 2%. Why 2%? Well, it's a buffer. It's, to avoid to have a deflation, because deflation is the worst case scenario. Ask any Japanese central banker and he will tell you deflation is pain in the ass. Really pain in the ass. So in my opinion, pivot only then. I don't know if it's going to be in mid 2023. I think it's not going to happen. I don't think that an exit rally, the main trigger will be a pivot. Maybe a new narrative talking about pivot like we had in the past, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, next one. Andre, BTC to 30k now. Well, if that's a wish thinking, why not? Well, BTC to 400k, why not? I mean, I would like to see that. I missed the 100k from last year. Why not to have 400k then? So, 40k, to be honest, I would like to see 28k. And then we can talk about 40k. If I see that buyers are behind and showing really they are buying strong, something I'm still missing. I don't see any big accumulation. Not at big entities. Only entities with less than 100 bitcoins in their wallets are accumulating. Everything else is not really accumulating. So I don't know why they should buy the whole way up to 40k, because that's not what smart waves do. They buy the dip, they push up and distribute the way up. They never buy the way up. So I don't know. I don't see Bitcoin to go to 40k. As mentioned, I could imagine 25 to retest 25. If we break 25 to the upside, to make 26, maybe even 28. But I think that's the max. So, yeah, I see here some hand signs. So let us go forward. BTC is controlled by the Chinese. Think about it. Most of mining was concentrated in China until mid of the last year. Yes, and China government has and owns bitcoins. I have tweeted about that last year. Not only bitcoins, Bitcoin Cash. They have even, I don't know, I remember not now exactly, but they have something like 150,000 bitcoins or something. So, if they want to crash the market, all at once. Subimal, hi Inspo, looking to market conditions, do you think it's worth buying BTC or alts if it crashed below like 12 to 15? Well, I can't do any financial advice here. You know that. The last time I bought Bitcoin was March 2021. Then I started to notice a change, or well, the narrative was already there, but I noticed that politicians were pushing more to the green agenda. And I was saying last year, it's, Bitcoin is not compatible to this green agenda they are building. It's not. It's absolutely not. You can tell me that miners are using whatever kind of energy production that's good for the climate, that's their argument will always be, yes, it's maybe good for the environment, but we need exactly that way to create and to generate energy for the industry, for example. We don't need Bitcoin. At the same time, we know that the World Economic Forum is demanding a code change on Bitcoin to make it compatible to the proof of stake consensus. instead of the proof of work. We all know that's utopic. That's not going to happen. It's not possible. Well, the World Economic Forum has enough power and are partly and mostly involved in many decisions what our politicians are doing. So I would be extremely careful. I don't want to discuss with Marxists if Bitcoin is good, not, if it's a hedge for inflation, if it's... The distribution of Bitcoin is at least, I would say, 30 to 40% in hands of big institutionals. I would say even more. And they are using Bitcoin as a normal asset like SPY. That's, or any ETF. That's what they are doing. And they have the power to make with Bitcoin whatever they want to do. In my opinion, they have enough power. So I'm not buying Bitcoin since last year. And I like the idea of Sakamoto. I like what he did. It was a revolution, and we are seeing the results of his revolution. But unfortunately, Bitcoin is coming in the wrong time. It's crazy, but it is what it is. Unfortunately. To buy alts? I'm buying alts. I didn't sell my Fusion, for example. I bought some at 50 cents. Now it's at 20. I'm not selling them. I'm buying more. I don't care about the price. Long term. If you think long term, doesn't care, buy. Use case, business case. Make your study, research. Make a good decision. Don't buy just because people are telling you it's going to make a huge bull run. Only buy when you are convinced that's a great project and it has potential future. Otherwise, don't do it. And then you shouldn't care, because I can, and I'm convinced about that. Every price you see on crypto tokens right now, in 10 years, you will say, Jesus, why did I went just all in when I had the opportunity? I think crypto is going to make a very similar way like the stock markets did. They crashed, they didn't disappear. Like the dot-com bubble. Many people crashed, but they didn't disappear. And now they are extremely strong. And that's what Bitcoin, or at least, I don't know, Bitcoin, please. As mentioned, I have my doubts just because of data and things I'm seeing. But many crypto projects has the potential to make huge steps. In 10 years, it can be your retirement. In 10 years, you could be really billionaire or whatever just because of that, if you are making the right investment. So, any comment of the White House crypto framework proposal that was released last Friday? Yes, it's not bullish. Absolutely not bullish at all. It matches very well what the BIS is indicating. It's not bullish. Let us go forward. Hassan, hi Inspo, would you please show me some tools to be used on my daily trading, scalping, spot? Well, that's what I'm using every day in my analysis, mate. We need to use all these aspects, otherwise you will miss something. Sometimes option traders are front running. At the moment they are not, but even they are placing more puts, hitting prices below 17k like today, but they are not front running. We need to check all these aspects. Check futures, long short ratio, open interest, leverage ratio. Check, as mentioned, open interest. CBDs on spot, mainly on spot, just to see if they are hiding some purchases. Use trading light. It's extremely useful because it has a volume delta, so you can check different exchanges, and some of them are hiding sells and buys. Sometimes you see a great candle, but they have a positive volume delta, a big one, and then you know, oh wait, here's something big buying. You can see order walls. You can see at what level they want to sell. You can see at what level they are locking liquidity because they want to buy. In that case, you can also use then some perps to see where they want to go short, when they want to go long, and so on and so forth. I just can tell you the best thing you can do is really to use a little bit my analysis as a guide and to try to check all these informations. We will not see one indicator that's going to cover everything. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. Maybe in the future, if Inspo has a good day and I invent something. So, hey Inspo, you should come on JR Discord a little more. Your data is really interesting paired with his analysis. Yes, mate, but I have a full-time job. I have a company. I have a project, Phoenicia, that I'm preparing. I have a private life. I have crypto Twitter. I'm one person and my day has 24 hours. Tell me how to handle everything and also to spend time. What I'm doing here on a Saturday, on my free day, it's absolutely not necessary. Instead, I could, for example, exchange with some other analyst, having a nice chat, but I think that I just want to provide all this information and knowledge to you guys to prepare you and to make you a little bit more independent. I know I love JR. He knows that. I respect him and his work is, but I really have a big problem with time management because I don't have the time, unfortunately. So the last two, and then I need to check Discord. Yeah, my best part is looking like, are you kidding me? So Musmo, sir, 1k to 10k whales don't have enough BTC to drop the price because it's already in low balance. What? These guys have the biggest balance of all of them, of all entities. Check that. Retailers. Every wallet with less than 1 Bitcoin owns 1.17 million Bitcoins. Okay. Guys with 1 to 10 Bitcoins in its wallet owns a total of 1.89 millions. Okay. Guys with wallets with 10 to 100 Bitcoins owns 4,320,000 Bitcoins. That's huge. Guys with 100 to 1,000 Bitcoins in their wallets owns 3.88 million Bitcoins. Now, those you are mentioning, entities with 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoins owns 4,900,000, and they declined 400,000 Bitcoins within 6 months. And now tell me they can't. What? It's the biggest entity of all. They have the best trade behavior. The best. If they start to accumulate, you know we will see a bull run. We know. That's what they do. They bought at the best moment. They were the main driver of the end of 2020 bull run. They were the trigger of every fake rally we had last summer. They were even the main driver of the drop of last summer. Buddy, they don't have enough BTC to drop the price because it's already in low balance with 4,900,000 bitcoins? I mean, since February, they declined their balances by, let me check. They had here 5,320,000 and now they have 4,900,000 since mid of February. By the way, it's just 6 months, a little bit more. If they do that more, we will drop even more. But the question is, I mean, these guys bought Bitcoin at 5K. They are not going to lose money. Absolutely not. So, Romain, 28, 32K to then after go below would be possible. But I'm not sure. Romain, I know, mate, you are doing so much already. Glad you are doing that. Thank you. Thanks for your understanding. I would love to make much more, but I really can't. If I would make full-time crypto, like many analysts out there, it would be absolutely different, but it's not the case, unfortunately. So I checked now a question I have here. Let me see. Got a question. What do you think about Polka Dot? Yeah, that's a good question. I like Polka Dot. Not sure about, to be honest, I didn't spend a lot of time with Polka Dot. So I don't really know if Polka Dot has a very, it has one utility where I say, yeah, that's great. That's what we need. That's what the industry needs. That's part of the transformation, digitalization, and so on and so forth. I'm not sure, but I like the community of Polka Dot. I have seen some projects related to Polka Dot that make sense. It looks solid to me. It really looks solid, but I don't know. I didn't spend that time to research, to be honest. Domination. Inspo, you here? Yes, sir. I'm here. Well, if someone has another question, it seems we don't have. Julieta, I see you here online. You don't have any questions? Not even one? Come on. So let us see. Undefined are 100 to 1000 Bitcoin wallets lift up a little bit because 1K to 10K wallets sell. Yes, someone has to absorb them. So entities, they shift. It's usually if one is selling, another one is buying. And also they shift. They shift means if I'm owning 2000 Bitcoins and I sell 1500 Bitcoins and have remaining 500 Bitcoins, I'm not part of the 1K to 10K entity anymore. So even that is changing. Also something that, of course, I'm checking because that's also a very interesting information. And we need to close the session, unfortunately, but it's necessary. So the category changed. Yeah. Sometimes you have that, of course. If you have someone with 9,000 Bitcoins and he sold 4,000 Bitcoins, he still have 5,000 Bitcoins. He is still part of the entity. And that's why their balance reduced then. Only then the balance will reduce. Romain, they don't even need to use much drop the price. Also right. Yes, you're also right. Just because I retweeted from Willy Woo the first time, I think, that I'm retweeting something from Willy Woo. But he mentioned very well why the market is not the same we had before 2017 because of futures. So the main, I mean, as mentioned many times, almost 60% of the whole crypto trading volume is related to futures and not to spot. That's not good at all because, I mean, you can, Willy Woo started to say, what was the headline of his thread? A little small guide how to sell 42 million bitcoins, while its maximum supply is 21 millions. Think about that. Yeah. So let me see. DNN. Hey bro, how are you doing? Yeah, I know you have a different time zone. That's always a problem. Sionu7. I don't know what you mean. What's up, Inspo? Happy weekend. Rumors of ECC Ripple K settlement this week. Another one? How many rumors we received about the Ripple ECC settlement in the future? I can't remember anymore, but well, I hope for them. I really hope. Massimo, say I love you. I love you too, bro. Diana, big love. Aloha, my lovely. You are from Hawaii, right? That was Hawaii. A big love to Hawaii. Simon, hello. Short squeeze incoming. If you think that they want to liquidate this part here instead of this part here, yes. I don't know. Not yet, to be honest. I see lots of people talking about put call at all-time high from ES. Well, I mean, we had a big short squeeze on ES, on SPY, on SPX. It seems that the market maker did a nice job, and now I would expect that they have more longs, but maybe that explains why the price dumped that hard in the recent times, so it's possible. And I need to close that here because once again, I just said 30 minutes and now we are talking more than 1 hour. Did you notice today Bitfinex, BTC USD, CBD, huge activity up there? Yeah, I have checked that. It was part of my analysis, actually. That's what they are doing here. Yeah, I have seen that. And also very interesting is they reduced, at least that's what I have seen, they reduced their longs, indicating they're buying. But if we go here, and that's why I love to use Trading Light, we can see what they are doing here. So they sold, and now we have here volume delta of 900, a volume delta of 900, a volume delta of 1100, a volume delta of 545. That's why the CBD is just pushing up very hard, because almost nobody is selling. It's just buy. That's the problem we have with Coinbase. I don't know why Bitfinex is looking like, because the volume is relatively low. Only when they start to buy or sell, like it's 1 or 2 big whales making their, profit trading here. So it looks a little bit strange, to be honest. This one, just to make a comparison, a huge volume, right? But the volume delta was 278 negative. If we check, for example, here, the screen candle, it has, even it's not that big like the red one, it has here almost 900 Bitcoin positive. So just less sellers, more buyers, and that's why the CBD is going up. But yes, of course, I mean, it seems that Bitfinex has started to buy once again. The question is, are they again just going to make a quick profit thing, or are we going up? I don't know. I'm not sure. Not yet. We need to wait. It's too early. So, but I'm going to finish the session. Once again, I'm going to check the Discord channel if something have... Oh, thank you for answer, Inspo. What about Rune, Torchain? Well, I mean, I can't tell you that. I really don't know about Rune, to be honest. Not yet. I can't tell you if they are good or not. I mean, I would laugh. I did that last year. I had more time, and it was funny to make research of different crypto projects. I would love to do that again. Just maybe with Phoenicia to start to, that you guys can send what kind of crypto token we should research, and we start to research using these parameters like mentioned today. So just to check, for example, the whole use case, business case, if it's adaptable to transformation of the economy, hitting a full digitalization, for example, and so forth. So it would be really interesting. I know Room, but to be honest, I didn't check that yet. But next time I will Polka Dot would be even more interesting for me to check them because it's on my portfolio list. Didn't accumulate them yet, but next time I will try to talk about Polka Dot. Maybe you are going to place the question again. Okay? So guys, I'm going to close the session because I think, I don't think we can go to the restaurant anymore. Well, we'll see. Big love. Have a nice weekend. Rest. Don't spend there all the time front of the screen. If I see anything that could be important, I will tweet about that. That's the only thing. Okay? So big love. Have a nice weekend. Love you all. Your Inspo. Bye bye.